Good morning, beautiful morning out here. A little foggy, should burn off. What we're going to do is go out and do some side imaging, find some weed beds, last year's weed beds, and do some side imaging and try to find some crappie. So stay tuned and hopefully this will all work out. That male, all colored up. Man, they're pretty this time of the year. So you can see right here, found a nice weed bed, and these weeds are growing out to, you know, maybe 12, 13 feet deep, and we're just casting in beyond it. Past the weeds there's some sand, and we are casting these jigs. Right now I'm using this dubbed body Widowmaker custom jig, and we're just casting out there and trying to pull them crappie up out of the tops of those weeds by reeling it real slow and just letting it tick the tops of the weeds. So as you can see, we're still socked in with fog here. Fish are not really moving around too much. They're starting to a little bit, but not really a whole lot. But we're gonna keep casting and reeling and see if we can get something to play. We can get them to come up out of these weeds. If the sun came up, we probably could get on some. It'd pull them up a little bit. And we're right on the edge of a real steep drop off. I mean, it goes from like 3 feet to right out to 15 feet. They are being very, very, very finicky this morning. And I think it's the fog. I mean, I can't say for sure, but it was pretty cold last night. It got down to low 40s. That could have something to do with it. The water temperature is still only 58 degrees here. Well, let's try a piece of plastic. May have just found the ticket. I threw one of Stan's slip bobbers out there with a gunmetal crappie magnet on there, and got one to, ooh, really nice male, all colored up. Man, what a pretty fish. Check that out. He choked that gunmetal crappie magnet, and I'm throwing this stand slip bobber right here on a blue diamond, B&M blue diamond. It's just a great bobber rod. I've been casting over the tops of those, and the fish weren't eating it, so I thought I'd let a slip bobber set there, and he took it. Came right up out of there, and heavers. Doing a number on that. He has got that right in the bone of his mouth. So yeah, just a beautiful fish. I'm gonna put him back in the live well a minute. I'll let them all go when we're done. That's the gunmetal crappie magnet. It's just a great little natural color. I'm gonna go ahead and retie this, and we'll try that again. Maybe the slip bobber will be the ticket. There we go. Other one on the slip bobber. Very good. Retied that. Put that same piece of plastic on there. And boom. Got another one. And again, he choked it. He's got that right in the roof of his mouth. Another just beautiful male. Him in the live well. I don't know if it gets much better than catching them on a bobber. I think we all learned how to fish using a bobber or a cork or whatever, and something about that cork going down that just is fun. So yeah, this is, let me show you something about this slip bobber. They've got a grommet on the bottom and on the top, so that this light little jig will pull right through that. It'll pull right through that and take it down, and I don't have to have a split shot above it. The only thing I have is I do have a bobber stop on here, so the bobber doesn't come down and get stuck on the jig head. But yeah, I'm just flicking it out there on the edges of these weeds, on the inside edge, letting it sit there, and just kind of working it towards me. And every once in a while, One grabs it. Sometimes they just grab it, and I call it sitting on it. The bobber just tips over. It doesn't even go under. So I think with these, I'm only getting males, and I think what they're doing is they're just getting ready to come up in here to spawn, because they're all on the inside edge. Water's probably 7 feet deep up there. They seem to definitely want that sitting still. They don't even touch it if it's moving. The sun's starting to come up now. I'm hoping they'll get a little more active. There he is right there, just like that. Ooh, just a beautiful fish. Oh yeah, just another nice male. I'm just going to tell you, if you slip cork or fish with a bobber or float, that B&M Blue Diamond 8-footer is just money. I can use 4-pound test with it, and you just choke that one again. So they really are wanting it sitting still, not even moving, not even a bit. I just work it in slow a little bit, but that's just a beautiful thick crappie. Look how they're all colored up. They're just getting their tuxedos on. Again, still that gunmetal crappie magnet. Just can't beat them. That's what I'm doing. I throw it out there, let it sit, let the bobber stand up, and I just kind of pull it in a couple feet, let it sit and stand up again, and that jig just comes down through the weeds. It's a great way to work a weed bed. I mean, you just drive around the lake and have your side imaging on and find one of these weed beds. This one's starting to get a lot of new growth now. Earlier in the year it's old growth, but them crappie go to them, and it's really good healthy weeds. Real leafy, so the crappie love to hide in them. about due for a new piece of plastic. Okay, so with this sun popping out now, you can really see down in the water. And what I want to show you, hopefully you'll be able to see them, or you can see these weeds. And that's what we're pulling that slip bobber through, and also reeling them jigs over. And up there, I don't know if you can see, there's a light spot, but that's where it turns to sand, and we're just pitching it into all of these pockets, letting it sit there, and that's how we're catching these fish. So I hope everybody found this helpful today. I want to reiterate, these Stan's bobbers, they got this nice little grommet in there, so the line slides through the bobber really good. There's one on each end. Today these fish were, some of them were taking it under, some of them were just picking it up, and it was tipping over like that when they'd pick the jig up. The nice thing is I didn't need a split shot between the jig and the bobber to make the bobber sit upright. So I will put the link in the description below for B&M and for Stan's bobbers, and hopefully you'll find this useful. Please like and subscribe, and hit the bell so you can get any new content that I'll be putting out, and I will be putting out a bunch more. Thanks for joining me today.